and welcome to the Here I Am experience. So whether you're watching us from here, there, or even over there, we want to give a big warm welcome to each and every one of you.
So you may be wondering, what is the Here I Am experience? Do we need more podcasts? I think there's like
a million
Christian podcasts. And that's why, honestly, I don't think there are any podcasts, or not really, that are, truthful about the missionary experience and those who live in ministry, talking about ministry without having to be a sermon or trying to fundraise, which are all great things.
Totally.
But you don't get to know the people that actually are behind the scenes and also in front of the crowd, talking and sharing about the gospel. So the Here I Am experience is those who said, "Here I am, send me." So here we are.
Here we are.
So you get to hear about experiences from true missionaries that are in places like Uganda, Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico. I'm saying all the countries in English for some reason.
I don't know why.
But yeah, you get to hear about all these experiences and all these people and stories that you wouldn't hear about, because when you get to hear those people, listen from those people, it's only the nice stories.
Totally, the highlight reel.
Exactly, it's only the testimonies, as we call it in the Christian community, but not really the struggles, or even that maybe your favorite pastor actually likes rap, or that your favorite missionary that you support in the other side of the world, I don't know, loves painting, or actually loves to do carpenter work, carpentier. In this podcast, you're gonna hear how flawed my English can be and can get to be. But anyway, you get to hear about all those things beyond just knowing people for what their project is, or knowing people for what the church is. You get to know them for who they are. It's not Miguel and Angela, the directors or founders of whatever. It's Miguel and Angela, and you get to know us for who we are. So here we are, and to start, we have a cool dynamic that you came up with.
Yes, so we thought, what a better way to get to know missionaries than to get to know the people that you're going to be seeing on every single episode. Yeah. So tonight we are playing 20 questions. Actually, 21 questions, I think. Maybe we cheated
20
and
plus
added
questions,
a few.
because we got excited.
Anyway, on these cards, we have different questions written down. We'll each take a turn drawing a question, and then we'll both respond to the question. And so we're excited for you guys to have the chance to get to know us a little bit more.
Yeah, and also you get to be a fly on the wall. So these are questions that we're going to answer to each other.
Yes.
So just sit back, relax, get your coffee. I have my coffee here.
Cheers.
I have my water ready. So let's start.
Yeah.
You want to start? Or,
okay.
Wait, who starts?
Oh, rock, paper, scissors.
Okay,
Let's go.
2 out of 3 or just one?
One.
Okay.
Dang.
Hey.
Oh, okay, you win.
Okay, let's see. Randomly.
Pick a good one.
There we go. First one. What would you like to do if it was a ministry?
Ooh.
So if we were not in ministry, what would we be doing?
It's a great question. I could see us being like travel photographers would be really fun, like going throughout the world and like doing like documentary stuff. But one of my like lifelong dreams is to have like a B&B and to be like hostess with the mostest and like love people and be like, come on in, do you want blueberry muffins? Like that to me would just be like ideal and just super fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
I can see you doing that. Like, you're a great host.
Thanks.
Yeah, hospitality.
And a great baker.
Hospitality is your gift. It's not mine at all.
It really is.
I'm more like, here's a blanket, lay down.
Okay, what about you?
I think what I would be doing if it wasn't ministry, like if I wasn't devoted to God and my life would have turned on a different way, I think I would be working in something with customer service. Now, if I had my pick, and knowing what I know now, the confidence that I have now and all of those things, with my humor, I've told you this a million times, that the profession that I relate to the most in the world is stand-up comedy.
Totally.
The point of view to a lot of stand-up comedians say that they're laying a mirror to society, so they can see each other, they can make fun of each other. It's how I live life. Like, I do ministry, laughing with people and sometimes poking fun at people in a good way, and poking fun at myself, and so people can laugh, and it's very disarming, and it's less intimidating than having a minister of the Lord come to your house and I'm here, I shall bring the good news, instead of being like, hey, I just busted my knee. Well, that sucks. Anyway, how's it going? And people just laugh. And is that was a silly example.
That
but,
was a weird example, but I know what you mean.
That's a silly example. Like just pointing out the flaws in yourself.
Right.
Yeah, that's more so what I mean.
And I mean, you're really funny. That's one of the things I fell in love with when I first met you, is that I was like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. And I really like that.
Yeah. Deflecting through a sense of humor. Your choice.
Okay, cool. Next question. Let's see. What's your favorite food? I know this one for you. I'm interested to see if you'll say the same thing.
I'm not the foodie. You're the foodie.
I am.
Mine is Guatemalan breakfast.
Absolutely. That's
you
what
know
I
what
was
it
gonna
is.
say.
They don't know what it is. So Guatemalan breakfast is eggs, beans, tortillas, plantains, especially fried plantains, crema. What am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anything.
No, that's it.
Yeah, but that's and rosa de Jamaica, which is hibiscus.
Yeah, hibiscus flower.
Hibiscus flower. That's amazing. I could have that for every meal, every day of the week, and I'll be fine. I don't need anything else. There's not one vegetable in that meal. Now that I think about it.
No, there's not. Nor fruit. Just.
Nothing else.
Good stuff.
Yogurt and fruit. That's gringo stuff. No, that's no. We have solid food for breakfast.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Mine would probably be like any sort of Asian food. Like I love dumplings and pho and ramen and egg rolls
you're
and
on a
fried
ramen kick right
rice.
now.
I really am on a ramen kick right now. There's a great ramen shop in town, and it is wonderful. Yes, love ramen. I just really like the flavors that come together in a lot of Asian meals. But secondary would be really anything Italian. Yeah, like all the pastas, all the breads, all the cheeses, like delightful. Okay, your turn.
Let's see, I picked two. Let's put this one here.
Don't cheat.
Oh, I picked three.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
did you? Oh, you did.
There you go. Okay. Favorite thing or aspect in ministry?
Ooh. Honestly, I think just talking to people. Like, I really love hearing people's life stories and like what the Lord is doing in their lives. I love hearing people share stories of like how the Lord has moved in their life. I think that's just really, really cool and just like really fascinating. It encourages me, like builds me up, and then it makes me excited because like we sit around a table and we all kind of share about those things. You're pumped when you walk out of the room. You're like, yes, this is amazing. And I don't know, just like getting to sit down and talk with people, I think is really delightful.
Yeah.
¿Y tú?
Same. I mean, if you know me, you know that I will speak for hours.
You
and I love listening to people. Like, I remember what being without Christ is like. How lonely, how fearful you feel, how empty. And to get to either hear those testimonies or be there to hug someone. Sometimes house visits, like when you go visit someone and you don't need to say anything because maybe someone died and you're just there. You're just it's just a hug. I think I've never given a longer hug to family than I've given while doing ministry, because I think it's amazing the amount of people that are they feel forsaken. So yeah, just talking to people all day. I could be in someone's house all day.
I agree. Like, I just love like the simplicity of ministry. Like, it doesn't have to be this big complicated thing. Like, you don't have to have lights and a fog machine and all these other things in order to make ministry happen. Like, it's just part of.
Jesus didn't have fog machines?
No, I don't think so. Electricity was a little spotty back then.
You're right.
But no, I love like just even the simple act of giving a hug and like how powerful that truly is. And I love that like each and every one of us have the capacity to be able to do that, just to like simply give somebody a hug, and like how meaningful that really truly is. And it's fun that like our things are both the same of like what our favorite things are in ministry, which means a lot because it's like what we do in ministry like all the time. So
it's
like,
almost like we work together.
It's almost like we enjoy
crazy.
what we do.
Is it my turn or your turn?
My turn. Okay, cool. Favorite thing about each other. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I need to censor this one. Well, I go first. I love your smile. Aww. It's amazing. We were talking about it a couple of days ago, how each other's mood really sets like the mood for the day. And when you smile, it just makes me feel way better. Aww. So this is it's not a cheesy podcast, but
I'm gonna cry. That is so cute.
But yeah, it's that's my absolute favorite part of you. So you're not allowed to lose teeth.
Okay, great.
Or to get a busted lip.
No lip piercings.
No.
Okay,
I
cool.
had to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, no. Maybe on your nose, yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can get the one you have back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I think your sense of humor is probably one of my favorite things. Like, you always know how to like brighten my day. You always know how to make me laugh. Like, when I'm sad or upset, like you always end up making it feel funny and like making me laugh. And just, I don't know, like life with you is just very enjoyable, and you bring so much like joy and life to everything that you do. And I just really love that. I just think you're just really awesome. Yeah, it's like, can you marry me?
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, this one. Let's see what this is say. What's your favorite country that you visited?
Ooh.
I mean, you have it hard because you visited way more countries than I have.
30 countries so far.
Yeah, I have like 6 or 7. Just not nothing.
Right.
But not compared to world traveler here.
Okay, so I think one of my favorite ones is Ireland, actually. I think Ireland is one of the most beautiful places, like landscape, that I've ever visited. And I remember like taking pictures and like looking at my camera and being like, wow, this is definitely like not as cool as what I'm seeing right now. And like there was no way to capture what I was seeing on camera. And so it's kind of one of those things, it's like you just have to store it in your memory of like what it is, because it'll never like look the same as what you saw. And like just the vibrancy of like the greens and the blues and like just seeing all these old like churches and castles and things like that was just really, really beautiful.
Cool.
So
I have to go.
you do need to come with me to Ireland. We will go play hide and go seek in a castle, because that is just what you do when you're visiting an old castle. Okay, what about you?
So we live in Antigua, Guatemala, which used to be the capital of Central America, and it is where all the kings and queens from Spain and from Europe used to come to. And I love Antigua. My favorite tourist place to go to is Manhattan. I love going to New York. It's just so different from where we live. I'm a city person. I mean, my job and my life and ministry have always been in villages, and I love it because it's simple life. The pace is slower. Going to New York is, to me, is oddly refreshing because everything is like this.
Yeah.
Everyone's running, and I'm like, okay, we have places to go. Let's go. But that's just for context. With me, you only get long answers. My absolute favorite place in the world is Madrid, in Spain, because to me it's the perfect marriage between Antigua, Guatemala, and Manhattan, because it's a lot of skyscrapers, but also they look old, like aged, in a great way.
Right.
It's all clean. Every corner has transportation. If it's not a bus, is the metro, or is the subway. It's Uber is not very, very expensive. Actually, groceries are not that expensive. Eating out is really expensive.
Yeah.
But if you're cooking like we did, it's not expensive. Not more than home, at least.
Right.
So yeah, I can see myself retiring there.
It's such a fun
It's awesome.
place.
And I just love my dry humor, and like I can be a little rough when I say things, matches Spanish culture. So I was thriving there.
And then it's fun too, because like you are fluent in Spanish, obviously.
A little bit.
Very cool. But like so cool that like we went to a different country, like we flew across the ocean to a different country, and you could still speak your same language there, which is also like really
you
fun.
speak Spanish too. So.
Yeah, I mean, but not quite as cool as you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question. Favorite childhood toy?
I know mine immediately.
Go for it.
Superman Sonic Zoom.
Wow, the whole name.
Yeah, I came with the blue box. You got it for me because he got lost when I moved, and I cried when I got it. And the cape moves, and he makes sounds.
Yeah, it goes.
And if you lower his arms, he goes. And it has a button, so the eyes light up. And
Yes.
that's my favorite toy in the whole world.
I
still
love
have it. I mean,
You do. It's cool.
Yeah, it's kept safe.
So my favorite childhood toy is actually 2. It was the things that I had to sleep with every single night. So I had a blanket that had like satin around the outside of it, very 90s. And it had little balloons on it. And so I called it Balloons Blankie because I couldn't say balloons apparently. So Balloons Blankie Balloons Blankie was one. And then Elephie was my elephant doll that was like blue, and it has like a little wind up for like the music box. The music box is long gone. He got washed far too many times for that thing to work. But Elephine Blues Monkey were my favorite. They have a lot of wear and tear on them, but they are still in my like keepsake box because they're really important to me.
It's funny because looking back when we were dating, you told me that story about the elephant, and I got you so many like little elephant things until one day she says, I don't like elephants that much. You can stop now. I have like 10 now.
Right. It's just my favorite thing as a kid.
Well, I was excited.
You were. You took that thing and you ran with it, man.
Yes, I did. Okay, a hobby that people may not know about us or individually.
Oh goodness. A new hobby of mine is I'm a reader now.
Hey,
I read books, which is super fun.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I was always a little bit dyslexic and had trouble like reading and really like retaining all the information. Like I'd stare at a page and like 5 minutes later I'd be like, oh, I just was staring. Like, hold on, let me actually read this. And so it's been super fun to like start reading like different like fiction books and actually really enjoying it. And so this year I think I've already completed like 9 or 10 books, which is like a big deal for me because from like high school up until like last year, I think I'd maybe read 10 books in that time, which is like really sad. So I'm a reader now. That's really fun. Yeah. I really enjoy that.
We've gotten better because I remember our first 4 or 5 years of marriage, we will be reading something on the phone and I'll be done and then you'll still be reading. And now you read faster than I do, which is funny. And it's
super fun.
It's awesome.
Yes. And then I would say second thing is baking.
Only one.
I get 2. I'm cool. I get 2. I really love to bake as well.
That's
that
true.
one's really fun, like baking and cooking, being in the kitchen.
You're a good cook and a good baker.
That's the second time I've thrown that out there. We'll just see how many times I can throw that into this conversation tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
I love photography.
Yes.
I love everything that has to do with photo and video. I kind of like editing. To me, that's fun. It's more so something that I want to get done quick. But I have so many gigs of photos that you keep telling me to post, and David keeps telling me to post, it's just so fun to capture moments and to capture people's expressions, and especially because our job is so emotionally intense. I love capturing landscapes. Like I get to capture emotions that are in God's creation, but I don't have to talk to people.
Right.
It's a break. It's a cool break. So I love it.
I love that. You're so good at it too. He does need to post more pictures though.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
We'll put my photography Instagram where I never post stuff. Here,
all right, here's the long question. Are you ready for it? This is the question that everyone and their mom always asks us, which is, how did you meet?
You want the real answer or the one that I always give?
Why don't you give the answer you always give and I'll give the real answer?
Well, Ange was relentless and she kept begging and begging and begging and crawling, and I kept saying,
on my knees, please.
I'm for the Lord. Behind me.
Oh my gosh. No.
No, what I always say is that Ange was praying for a husband and I showed up with a mariachi band of angels. Instead of saying, oh, they will go, na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, and I showed up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's not what happened.
That's me. Yeah. I mean, in my head, that's what happened.
Oh my gosh. Okay, short version is that we met at church.
Yeah.
I was here for already like a year and a half living in Guatemala, and I was looking for a church that I could like have community in, and I said like I really wanted a Guatemalan church because I wanted to make friends of like locals that were here, not just missionaries that were here, because I figured if I was going to live here for a long time, then I should have friends. And so I ended up at the church that he was at simply because the pastor messaged me back first, and it was close to the place I was living, so I could just walk there. So I walk into church that Sunday, and in true like North American fashion, I get there like 15 minutes early, and they start.
True Guatemalan fashion, everyone was late.
It was so awkward. I like walked in, and I like didn't know very much Spanish at the time, so I like awkwardly go in and just like find a seat because I was like, okay, I got myself here. Like that's a big enough step today. I don't have to talk to anybody. Like I'm just gonna go in, find my seat, and I awkwardly sat in the sanctuary by myself for 15 minutes, and then you come rushing in. You kind of like rush past me, and then all of a sudden.
And then you went.
No, and then all of a sudden.
Like were you hurt at Lady in Red?
No, and then all of a sudden you like come up and you're like, good morning, everybody. Let's stand and worship together. And I like look around and I'm like, who's this everybody? It's me. And so I awkwardly like stand up and I'm like, cool. And then like 10 minutes later, everybody else, like maybe like 5 minutes later, everybody else like trickles in. But I was like so awkward about it. And so that was our first time meeting.
Yeah.
Miguel was super nice to me. And
well, we should say the whole story for a different podcast. If you want to listen to the whole story.
That's true.
Because it's long.
It's the
Lord. It's good, but it's long.
It was definitely from the Lord.
It's cool that we went from knowing each other at church, not really talking to each other, because we lived separate lives, to we started serving together, and you led me first. You started leading me in outreach, and I would lead you into worship, without knowing that we were going to work together.
Right. Had no idea.
And without one being the boss of the other.
Right.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
it was really cool. The Lord knew exactly what needed to happen. It was such a great time.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. It was one.
Always.
Wait,
come on.
Wait, I didn't see this one. I didn't see it.
No cheating.
Yeah. When was the last time you cried? Like 4 hours ago. Yeah. Generally, I'm being serious.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Ooh.
You don't get to know all the stories on the first episode. I'm just saying.
There's a mystery question in here that I didn't know was in here. You did this. Yeah. Do you know what it is?
I don't remember what I wrote. ADHD, I don't know.
Who said I love you first? Me!
Yeah.
It was me. It slipped out.
Yeah.
It happened.
We were on a date, and we had been dating. I mean, for context, we were best friends for over a year before dating. So when we were dating, we already knew each other so well. So Because when we were best friends, we didn't flirt. We didn't. It was a very healthy friendship. Yeah. So when we started dating, it was like, oh, my soulmate.
Right.
And I remember we were on a date, and we were holding hands. And we were just saying mushy stuff to each other.
We were at the ruins.
Yeah, and
it was real sweet.
Yeah, and she kept saying, "You're the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life." I was like, "Of course I am." and
I don't know if that's what I was saying.
That's exactly what you said.
Okay.
And then she goes, "I love you," and I remember being like, "Yeah, I love you too." But there was that like, we just started because it was maybe a month.
Yeah, I think it was like a month in.
But I mean, it was perfect, and I love that you said it first because I'm more impulsive and more like more spontaneous than you are, so it was really fun to have that moment being from you.
And it was funny on my side because in my head I was like, I am not saying it first, and then it just slipped out, and I was like, well, there it is.
But it's cool because I remember you went like, I love you. Yeah. Wait. You know what? Yeah, I love you. And you don't have to say it back. And I was like, I love you. It was like a movie.
It was really sweet.
It was cool.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Thanks for slipping that in there.
Yeah, it was pretty good on the spot. 5 things wait, let's start again. 5 things you can't live without. That's when the thing comes.
Boom, 5 things.
You go first.
Chapstick, gotta have that. If you don't, like, as soon as you leave it at home, you realize how insanely dry your lips are, and that's all you think about all day long. So chapstick, a water bottle, because water to me is really important. Water is life.
Yeah. Football is life.
Football is life. Oh, goodness. What else is there? My phone, just simply because I work from that a lot of times, and I like taking pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff. Your hand in mine.
Just my hand.
Just your hand. Just cut off. No, I'm just kidding. You with me. That's another one. Yeah. And thing number 5, honestly, would probably be like my mascara. I just enjoy like having fun long eyelashes. So yeah.
I mean, they look good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think my watch. I love watches. I love having different color watches and different styles. I like jewelry, which is not something many people know.
Yeah.
I like rings, so I like having a ring on me, or 2 or 3. My pocket knife.
Yes.
I need a knife in my life.
A knife in my life. That was adorable.
I know, if it's true. I did it because I love Peter McKinnon, and he always has one. And I was like, I'll try it. And I remember the first week he was like, "Why do I have a knife?" I'm like, "Am I gonna mug someone?" And now I'm like, "Well, I use it every day." And right now I don't have my knife with me, and I'm like,
"Where's my knife?"
My knife. That some camera that's not my phone. Doesn't matter if it's like a GoPro kind of camera or a tiny one or Right now I have a point and shoot that belonged to my dad, and I love using that one. And I just got my first roll, and it's so exciting. And a water bottle. I never carried a water bottle with me in my life. And you Americans and your water bottles everywhere.
We love our water bottles.
Now I need a water bottle with me all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go from the middle back here. Okay, fun fact. That's it. That's all it says. Fun fact.
Fun fact about you.
Okay, you go.
Me?
Yeah, you go first.
A fun fact about me. It's. What kind of fun fact can I say? It's. I don't think many people know. I think a handful, like a truly handful of people, know me absolutely unfiltered. Like my humor is either my spectrum of humor is either dad jokes all the way to the most messed up things you can think about or that you won't think about because it's just funny to me.
You're so funny.
So I think that's I don't know if that's fun. It's fun to me.
It's a fact.
It's a fun fact. Like that. There are times where I tell you something, you're like, "What is wrong with you?"
Right. Happens often.
It happens more often than not. But I have fun. Yeah.
I think a fun fact about me. I make awkward sounds when I don't know what to do. No. Fun fact about me is if there's nobody tall around to get up to the top shelf of something, I will always find a way. I will like spider monkey crawl up a wall if I have to get up on top of something to get whatever that thing is.
Is that a fun fact or just being short?
It's a fun fact about short people.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Let's see. Skill you'll like to learn.
Ooh. I would like to learn how to make macaroons.
Yeah.
They intimidate me because
you love macaroons.
I do love macaroons, but there's like a process to it, and you have to like tap out the air bubbles, you have to like let it sit, but like not too long, let it bake, not too long. It is very intimidating, the idea of trying to learn that, but that is definitely something in the next few years that's like on my list of like, let's learn how to do this.
I would like to learn how to fix cars.
Ooh.
I know nothing about my car. I've been meaning to like getting to classes or something, and I just never have the time.
Yeah.
I know how to put the windshield wiper fluid in it.
Yes.
I know how to change the tire, which is really important.
You know how to put oil in it?
I don't know how to change it, but I know how to put it in.
And gas, you can put that in the car.
I know how to drive too, which I'm a great driver, by the way. Yeah.
No, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Yeah, but that one.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite TV show as of right now?
The Big Bang Theory. No, The Big Bang is great. It's mind-numbing. I know, but that's not true. Okay, that's the one that we watch when we don't want to pay attention.
Yeah.
My actual favorite show right now, Ted Lasso.
Me too.
Ted
Can
Lasso
we have the same answer?
No. I'm just kidding,
Yeah, I would agree. Ted Lasso has been really good. We're about ready to start season 3.
Yeah, because I have a problem finishing shows, ending shows.
Finishing them.
So we've watched season 1 and 2 over and over, and Becky, our friends Becky and Brian, they keep asking every time we see them, have you watched the? I'm like,
Maybe this weekend. Maybe we'll watch some of it this weekend.
Okay. Again.
Stop cheating.
My big fingers. Okay, this one's a serious one. What's a bad moment in ministry?
Ooh.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
I think this is where it just gets serious immediately. In ministry, you have a lot of lows, a ton of lows. Just because you're dealing with people's true human nature and sinful nature. And also, but what's harder is when the people that should be helpful are actually more of an obstacle. And a bad moment, maybe it's more like a bad moment / bad advice that I got from someone once was that there's only one way to share the gospel, otherwise you do it wrong. And from someone who has an influence on a lot of people, that the only way to share the gospel is you go to people and you go and ask them, in all this third world countries, you go and ask them, if you were to die today, where are you going? And if the answer is, I don't know, they need to accept Christ. It's like, okay, or you can build a relationship with them and not scare them, because no one should accept the gospel out of fear. We should not accept the gospel because we're afraid of going to hell. We should accept the gospel because we feel the overwhelming love of Christ.
Yeah.
Because who will sacrifice their life in such a painful way for you? For you, it's impressive enough. It doesn't need anything else.
Yeah.
So I think to me that was a bad moment that I was frustrated for a long time about that. Like every day I will wake up thinking about that moment, and more so thinking about all the people that are being affected by this mentality, and that it will trickle down and hurt people in so many countries.
Yeah.
Because this has become such a normal way to share the gospel, and it's just honestly it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember for me one time when I first started leading teams, I was like 22, and I was still really nervous about leading groups and what my ability was, and if I was going to be able to be capable of doing these things. Especially like as an introvert, it took a lot of energy to like share with people like what we're doing and like really lead them. And I remember having a group that just nitpicked at everything. And on top of that, we had a bunch of like outdoor ministry we were doing, and it rained a bunch, and I got blamed for it raining. And that was just like so hard.
Yes.
I know,
You let
right?
it
Like
rain.
I'm in control of the rain, but like they just nitpicked at everything, and they were so mad at me because it was raining all week, and like I was doing everything I possibly could to like make this team happy, and do what I could, but like at the end, like nothing felt good enough. And I feel like it rocked my confidence for a long time, that I was like, oh my gosh, if like one little thing goes not according to plan, then like people are gonna hate me. And like that's not really the case most of the time. But every once in a while you get, like you said, some people that come and think that they're helping, and it isn't as much help as it is just like what they wanted for like what they wanted to have happen. And so I think in ministry for me, some of the hardest moments have been with like teams and stuff. Like locally, like I feel like for the most part it's usually, pretty simple. Like we just go and we hang out with people, we love on people, we build relationship, and I think that's where it becomes really, really fun. Teams are great, love them, but every once in a while you get one that you're like, okay, what was your point in coming here?
It's sad that most teams are good. Most shortened teams are great, but the bad ones really stay with you.
They do.
They really stay with you, and it's funny. I've been thinking about this a lot, that most of our poor experiences in ministry are because of other quote unquote ministers or missionaries or leaders or churches. It's not really the people that we're ministering to. Not to say that there are not bad stories with the people we minister,
it happens.
but not even close to how difficult it is to work as a unit in what we keep calling the body of Christ, but we don't behave that way.
Yeah, it's true.
So
that was a good one.
next question, because this could be a sermon or 2 or 3.
Question. Okay, you have to keep this short because I know you can talk for a long time. What brought you to Christ?
I was depressed. I didn't want to live, but I was coward enough to not take my own life. Because I remember once I grew up in a Christian household, so I would pray, and my prayers to God have always been in the form of conversations. So I was walking, and I will cry every night, and I was walking and talking to God, saying, I know you exist. I know you're alive. I'm not sure that you really care about me. And if you do, please show up. Randomly, someone invited me to this church that I didn't know. I show up about a month later. From the moment I got like I went inside the door, I started shaking and I started crying. I just felt the Spirit of the Lord. And not in, just because I know that there's a lot of people from different backgrounds that listen to me, that are listening to us right now. It was not in a, like what we would call now right now Pentecostal way. It was truly like there's something here that's holy. And I remember going inside, and they're playing a video of Bill Graham. Billy Graham?
Billy Graham.
Yeah, Billy Graham. I know how to say it in Spanish, by the way. And I remember thinking a little cynical maybe, that I could have watched this video at home. And by the end of the video, I was wrecked. I was crying. My eyes were puffy. And I remember then the worship team came and it started. I knew nothing about church. Like I grew up in a Christian household, but when I was little, and then for a long time we didn't go to church. And I remember I got up, the worship started. I was like this. I just naturally my instinct just told me go like this. So I just went like this, and I was crying. I told the Lord, I don't know what to do. And I heard the audible voice of the Lord that said, I already forgave you. Why are you not forgiving yourself? And I couldn't believe what I heard, because it was no one. I will fight. I will die on this hill. The audible voice of the Lord. I fell to my knees, because that's all my body could do. And my first words as a newborn, as a new Christian, as a new creation, were, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's also how I became a missionary. I've never pursued ministry. It's always been kind of presented to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll go. Because I'm just so thankful. 10 years later, because this was about 10 years ago, it was almost 10 years ago, it was 2015, April 2015. I still, every time I think of someone who doesn't have Christ, I think of the emptiness. And also how amazing that felt. And if I close my eyes, I'm there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was less than 5 minutes, so you
Good
go.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
I just love that story. It's my favorite story with God. Yeah.
I think for me, like, I also grew up in a Christian home. Like, my mom was like our children's director at church, and so we're like always at church. And you know, I got saved at a young age. I got baptized and all of that stuff. But I think really when my relationship with the Lord became firm and it became my own, I think I was like 14 or 15, and my family was going through a pretty big crisis in life. And I just remember feeling very lost and feeling very alone and feeling very helpless. And it was just a really dark season of life. And I also was in a position where I didn't want to be here anymore. And I remember one night I had put together some plans, and all of a sudden there was just something in my spirit that I was like, you know what, Lord, here's last chance. Like, give me something to have hope in, and give me something to be passionate about, because like I just can't do this anymore. Like, it's just too much. It's too overwhelming, and like I just can't live this hopeless anymore. And I remember like a light came into my room, and I was in the basement of our house. Like, my room was in the basement of our house, and so there was like one tiny little window, and a light came in from like the opposite side. And I also heard the voice of the Lord, and he said, I am your hope, and I will give you passion. And from that time on, I wrote the word hope on my wrist, which is now tattooed on me, because it was something that I wanted to remember forever, that the Lord's declaration over my life was that I am your hope. And so from then on, like, I'm, you know, continuing on my journey with the Lord. And a few years later, I went to Africa on my first international missions trip. And that is where I discovered what my passion was. And my passion was, you know, helping other people to understand the love of the Lord, because once I was lost, once I was separated from him, once I felt alone, and you know, I didn't feel like I had anybody on my side, and then all of a sudden I knew in my heart, like, my hope was in Jesus Christ, and like now I want you to have that same thing. And so it's really cool, like, how the Lord worked all of that together. And it didn't mean that like life automatically got easier, but when you know where your hope is, like, even though you might be in your darkest days, like, you still know where your hope is. And like, when your hope is in Jesus, like, that really does just change the game.
That's awesome. Praise God.
3 minutes. Look at that.
Good job. Okay, now to something a little lighter. What's a bucket list item, or a bucket list trip, or whatever? Just one item on the list.
One?
Just one.
Ooh.
Doesn't have to be the number one, just one item.
A item, Iceland. I want to go van life around Iceland for like 2 weeks, and like just go live simplistically and just go and enjoy all of like what God has created and all of his beauty there.
That's awesome.
Iceland.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I think I want to jump out of a helicopter.
Out of a helicopter?
It doesn't have to be a helicopter. It could be a plane. I'm not picky.
You want to go skydiving, basically.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Do you want to go like way high up, so you would take an airplane and skydive?
As
or
high
like,
as possible.
Oh my gosh, you're wild. Okay, so you want to go skydiving.
I'm not an adrenaline chaser, and adrenaline actually makes me anxious sometimes. But for some reason, that just sounds fun.
I love you.
Yeah.
You're adorable. Okay, we're getting down to them. Okay, favorite movie right now.
Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not what you expect from a missionary. That is my truth. I've watched it once. I'm gonna go watch it. I'm pretty sure Tuesday.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'll watch it in a couple of weeks when we're in the States. We're going to the States. And yeah, and when it comes out in streaming, I'm gonna binge watch it a lot.
You're so funny.
I just love that movie so much. It's so great. Wolverine, 20 years. I watched Wolverine. This is where it becomes a nerd podcast.
Nerd.
I watched Wolverine in every movie. I remember I was a part of the squad that waited and waited for him to get the suit.
Right.
And when he puts the cowl,
No spoilies.
they're fine. The cowl on and the helmet on.
You cried a little, didn't you?
You know, like I
Shed a
was over the edge of my seat. And
I
Ants
know
was
you
just,
were.
I think you were looking at me more than the movie. I was like, oh, and look at this. And Channing Tatum, he's Gambit. He never got his movie. I just knew all the Easter eggs. I think this is the movie where I got the most Easter eggs.
You're so funny.
I loved it. I laughed so much. We're back. We're so back. Marvel is back. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, you're so cute.
And I could go on a rant for hours about that movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes you could.
Because I have and you heard me.
Indeed you have. Long car rides are fun with you.
I'm not sorry.
Okay, my favorite movie right now. Gosh, I don't even know. I don't know if I've been really into movies right now.
You watched The Proposal?
I did watch The Proposal. I was going to say, I recently watched The Proposal, another Ryan Reynolds movie. And I do really love that movie. Him and Sandy B, they're pretty cool together.
That's funny.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. Let's see. What's a ministry moment that made you cry?
Oh. I think back to my time when I was in India for a month when I was traveling the world, and we got to baptize people, and that was a really, really special and very honoring thing to be able to do, because in the area that we were at, what we were told is that if somebody were to get baptized, then basically their family disowns them. And a lot of the people that we were able to baptize were actually people that were a bit older and should be taken care of by their families, but had an encounter with Jesus, accepted him into their hearts, and said, I want to now profess this and claim this to everybody in my community that I believe in Jesus Christ. And that was huge because coming from the States, it's like maybe sometimes people might try to make fun of you because you're a Christian and stuff, but like you don't go through what these people are going through. And that to me was really moving to see people say like, I have had an encounter and like I believe in him, and I want everybody to know regardless of what the consequences might be. And as you know, a young 21-year-old girl, like that was really moving in my life to be like, I want to be like that. Like that encourages me to go and proclaim and profess my faith no matter what the situation is, because Jesus is worth it.
Yeah. To me, is for context, I lost my dad 4 years ago. And when you haven't lost anyone, losing someone, when you see your friends losing a grandparent or a sibling or something like that, it just doesn't hit you. And after losing my dad and going through my mourning process in the morning, it's not the 5 steps,
right?
The 5 stages, not in order at least. It's just all this roller coaster, and it changed how I see ministry. That in that season, after my dad passed, for like 6 months, every other week someone passed.
Yeah.
In our community, in our village where we work, and there is no amount of money. There is no project. There is no home. There is no school. There is no well. There is no water filter. There is no stove. There is no latrine. There is no orphanage. They will bring back someone that you've lost.
Yeah.
I don't care how many millions someone can fundraise. It will not replace a person. And I appreciate the empathy. You'll never hear me say, I'm glad my dad passed. However, God uses everything for his glory.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I have that emotional experience, because I'm able to cry with people now. And even understanding how God the Father felt seeing his son die, I understand mourning way more and how painful it was. Yeah, I think those moments, it's not a moment, but it's one event that all the crying made me understand other people's crying. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Your turn. Second to last.
Ooh. One of your favorite ministry moments.
It was when we started This is Vida. This is Vida's our ministry. our friend Josefina, at that time we had known her for 2 years and we were just friends, and we would go and hang out, and it was awesome. And when we asked her, hey, we're thinking of coming to your community and working, and we would like to work with you specifically, what do you think? And her smile, she goes, I've been praying, I want to work with you, of course I'll work with you. It fulfilled me so much. It encouraged me so much that, and it was through what we do, which is friendships.
Yeah.
That, yeah, it's kind of like Peter. I don't bring more than the gospel. And what we bring is friendships, and our ministry in this community started through friendship.
It did, yeah.
So that's one, it's like top 10 of favorite moments.
So piggybacking off of that,
Yeah.
I also have a favorite Josefina moment too.
Yeah.
It was, we had a group there, and what's the celebration that you guys have that it's like you fill the egg with the confetti?
Cascarones is Carnaval.
Yes, Carnaval.
In February.
And
yeah.
so we had a group, and
Yeah.
they had like bought the eggs, and Josefina, like, this was the moment where I was like, we're friends, because
Yeah.
like nobody else would have chosen to do this
No.
to you. But she like goes up to Miguel, and she said something about like, I need you to sit down and like close your eyes.
She's such a
and
poor
you're
liar.
like, wait, what is happening? She's like, just sit down. You're like, okay. And she's like, close your eyes. And you're like, no. And she's like, close your eyes. And so you're finally like, okay. And then she took the egg and she like cracked it on your head, and like all the confetti came down. And that's just like one of my favorite moments, because like in Mayan communities, like you wouldn't just do that to like your pastor or your leader or somebody like that. Like you have too high of a respect to really do that. But to like see her just be like, you are my friend, and like I'm gonna smash this egg on your head was definitely one of my favorite moments. And then it was really fun getting her back as well. It was a good time.
Yeah, I wouldn't get her back because I will break her neck.
No, I got her back.
Yeah, if we find a picture, we'll put it up. Okay, last one is a good one. It's a hot take.
Am I going first?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know mine.
Gosh, I would say a hot take is I do not believe that missionaries need to be people that live under the poverty line. Like, I really do believe that missionaries should also be people that are thriving, and that they should be able to have the funds to go and do what they need to do, which also could include things like, taking a night away, and like going to a hotel and spending a
Something
night.
as basic
just,
as a savings account.
Exactly. Something as basic as a savings account, being able to know that like if they need to fly back to, their home country for an emergency, that they can do that. Like just having financial security so that they can go out and do what they're called to do without worrying like, can I, feed myself this month? Like who knows? I really do believe that each missionary should be fully funded as they're out on the field, and they should be able to thrive in that.
To clarify, to protect this opinion, we're not talking about prosperity gospel here.
No.
We're talking about having enough money to not worry about your bills, so you can go and share the gospel without having to have in the back of your head the bill that you haven't paid.
Right, exactly.
It's just
to know you can go to the doctor if you need to, and you don't feel like you need to lay on the side of the road and die because you don't have funds to cover that doctor's bill.
Because
been there.
If you don't know, that this is a big controversial topic, especially people that are non-missionaries and that are not in full-time ministry. The amount of times that I've heard like, yeah, but I mean, why do you have that? Like, you're a missionary. You shouldn't have those things.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not talking to you again.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's really tough, really tough.
Yeah. To me, hot take is that most people shouldn't come on a mission trip.
Oh.
Most people come for selfish reasons, because they want to be heroes. They don't use this lingo, but it's to be like, well, I want to give back from what I have. Okay, cool. That's not the good reason. That's not a good reason. That should not be the main reason. That could be number 20, and that's kind of fair. But that cannot be top 10. Number 1 is because the gospel is worth it. Number 2 is because Jesus is worth it. Number 3 is because the Holy Spirit is worth it. God the Father is worth it. After all of those, which are not the same, but are not the same, it should be because people are worth it.
Yeah.
Because these people are worth it, and even to learn from other cultures, so we can know how to better share the gospel back in our home countries. But to come because you want to show yourself that they live in such conditions and we should be thankful. That's what we give back. I'm sorry. Then don't go to a Christian mission trip, because a Christian mission trip is to share the gospel.
Yep.
If you only go because you're going to build something, I mean, those are great things, and the church should be the emergency line that fulfills all of those physical needs. However, not ever in replacement of the gospel.
Yeah.
And we've taken care of over, I don't know how many hundreds of teams collectively and together.
Yeah.
I can say with all honesty that I've had a handful of teams, a literal handful, that absolutely everyone in that team knew how to share the gospel.
Yeah.
How to share the gospel, not necessarily perfectly, but also none of us share it perfectly. But they were 100% invested in, we're sharing the gospel, we're here because people's hearts need salvation.
Yeah.
And people's souls need salvation.
Yeah.
The rest, sadly, mostly come for, well, they need this stove, they need this home. Those are pure reasons.
Totally.
But that's not what we do. That's not what we should do. Missionaries is like what the word says. We're bringing the mission. Our mission is to share the gospel, to fulfill the Great Commission.
Right.
And everything else is a beautiful bonus.
Yeah.
So I think most people shouldn't come on mission trips, and sadly, I think it's become marketing to churches.
It's like kind of the cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's like camp, and I'm sorry, we're not camp. I will never, as long as it's in my power, allow a team to come to play with people's hearts so it can be their training ground. I think it's extremely disrespectful to think that you can go, you're going to train with these people, and you're go and try. No, these are people's hearts. These are people's hearts. And just as much as I wouldn't want anyone to play with your heart, I don't want you to play with theirs.
Yeah.
So I think, and I could go on and on about this for hours because it boils my blood to just see people like throw candy or it treated like a petting zoo. It's people. It's someone's kids. It's someone's wife, someone's husband.
Their hearts.
Yeah, like just as much as I wouldn't go to your home to learn what gossip looks like, or to learn what sexual sin looks like. Please don't come to our countries just to see what poverty looks like.
Yeah.
No, that's not. This is not to stare and witness people's flaws. It's to witness the power of God.
Yeah.
It's to witness that His goodness and the gospel, the Holy Spirit, is what brings people to repentance.
Absolutely.
If we don't bring the Holy Spirit, then what are you doing here?
Yeah, if we don't share the Holy Spirit
a
with the
hug.
people around us.
How many times our ministry is hugs?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. It's funny, our ministry sharing the gospel, and this, I'm going longer because this is our last question. Our ministry is funny, it's purely just sharing the gospel. We don't give stuff away. I mean, not more than a coloring book.
Yeah.
Well, a coloring sheet, actually.
Yeah, really.
It is the hardest one to get people to come and volunteer. Because sadly, most of the body of Christ, especially on the western side of the world, they do not appreciate the freedom that we have to share the gospel. And if there's not a project to build, if there's not a project to fulfill,
it's hard.
It's almost impossible to bring teams.
Yeah.
And that tells me how unhealthy the body of Christ is when it's about being selfless.
Right, or the view of what mission trips should be like and what ministry should look like.
It's not gospel first, sadly. And that's the hot take.
That's the hot take.
You don't like it? Well,
you should still subscribe.
You should pray about it. Or we can talk about it. You're a good chat. I don't hate you if you think that it should be the other way, but we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what this podcast is about. It's about creating those conversations.
Right, opening up conversations.
So you know how we feel on this side, because we've had these conversations, all these topics, even the silly ones, we've had with missionaries.
Totally.
And we always make the joke with some other fellow missionary friends that it's like, yeah, will you tell that to your supporters? No, I would never. And that's what this space is about, is we don't want to be afraid of the people on the other side to protect our image, where we're still flawed people.
Right, and we want to create space for like y'all to join in on the conversation with us, because that's important.
Yeah. So if you have questions, you want to know about something, send us a message, follow us on Instagram, send us a DM. If there's like, hey, I would love for you to talk about this. How do you approach this? We don't have all the answers, and I'm not afraid of saying I don't know. But if we do know, we'll figure out how to communicate it. And if we don't know, I promise you, I'll find someone who knows more than I do, so they can answer for you.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess.
Yeah. So thank you for joining this episode of the Here I Am experience. It's been really fun getting to hang out and to answer some questions tonight, right?
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say it's been fun to get to know each other. I'm like,
I know you.
I kind of know you.
I think I know you.
Yeah, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
See you next time. Bye.
Yeah.